Hey boys and girls, this is Wild Man Wolves here, and I'm doing a little wrestling think piece, might I say. Well, a topic that's very hard to think about, and people have all kind of issues and problems with how booking has been in the WWE of the last few years. And I'm going to talk about three people that have been caught up in this since they broke up. The Shield. Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, and Dean Ambrose. And how their characters either have evolved or haven't evolved or went down paths that basically ruined the characters or how they end up being where they are today. So we're going to take a look at each individual and see what then happened with all three, and I will give my thoughts on all three at the end of this think piece. First, we're going to look at Seth Rollins' run for the last couple of years. He was basically supposed to be the successor for Triple H after winning the Money in the Bank briefcase and also cashing in at WrestleMania. And his title run was not that compelling because he was more of a henchman of Triple H. And some of his matches he had with people, he ended up hurting them or getting hurt himself. So he had one of the worst luck out of the Shield the last couple of years. And it almost look like he might not be in Mania this year. We'll see how that goes, but he had a chance to be a major babyface when he came back off his injury in the first time when he made that comeback. But WWE was scared to pull the trigger. I know Seth in many interviews said he didn't really want it to be a face, and it kind of shows in how they end up keeping Rollins heel. And basically, the storyline now is that he's mad at Triple H because Triple H found somebody else that he liked, and it's basically makes Seth look like he's mad that his best buddy that left him for somebody else, and that's not a good look for a face. He should have just came back when he was injured the first time and be like, I want to be the champion. I didn't lose my belt. The people are cheering for me, and I'm going to go with the people. But he didn't take that route. He went back to the Authority, and that basically, to me, ruined his character. So even though him and Triple H might fight at WrestleMania, I don't really have any sympathy for Seth Rollins in this storyline. I just feel like he just needs to man up and move on. So that kind of ruins the architect character to me. For me, he almost had the most promising run out of the three Shield members at that time, but bad luck for Seth Rollins just kind of messed up stuff for him. So hopefully after WrestleMania, with all this Triple H stuff, will be left behind him, and he can go on to better programs with other people. So we'll see how this goes because he's a great wrestler in the ring, and hopefully they'll match storylines with his charisma and also his ring skills as well. So we'll see how that goes with Seth Rollins. Then we have the lunatic fringe, Dean Ambrose. Well, with Dean, he hasn't had as bad as a run as the other two Shield members to me as Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns because he was the WWE champion. Before the brand split, he had a nice little run. His only real misstep to me was his last year's WrestleMania match with Brock Lesnar. I know Dean said he had problems with Brock not wanting to do some spots that he wanted to do in the WrestleMania match, and it showed because that match was very lackluster, and Dean should have had something a little bit better going in at the time. I know they was trying to tout him as the next Stone Cold or Roddy Piper type character, and he's not ruthless enough as a lunatic fringe to be considered that. He's kind of goofy acting at times at one point in his run. So, and I know when he did that Stone Cold Steve Austin podcast on the network, that didn't help matters none for him. And his title reign after that didn't last so long, but he then had good matches on SmackDown with people like The Miz, and he's getting ready to go into a nice little feud with Baron Corbin. So if Dean loses that match, that helps Baron Corbin establish himself as a main mid-card character on SmackDown, and SmackDown is the best place for Dean right now at the moment, so he don't have to deal with none of the foolishness that goes on Raw. So Dean, out of the Three Shield members, has had the best, in my eyes, the last 2 or 3 years out of the Three Shield members. So his run hasn't been as bad as the other two people in my eyes. So hopefully after WrestleMania, we'll see where he ends up being at. Maybe him and Corbin to have a rematch at the next pay-per-view after Mania for whatever SmackDown's next pay-per-view is. I don't know what it is at the moment, but we'll see. But Dean has made it out the best to me out of the Three Shield members. The last but not least, Roman Reigns. Well, with his book in the last 2-3 years, has not been helping him at all. He had one time where he was going in with some hot momentum with that beatdown he had for Triple H, and people was behind him, but they basically, whatever happened, it just got killed. And going into the Royal Rumble, it just didn't work for some reason. So I don't understand what they're going to do with this character and what they're going to do with Roman Reigns to get people to like him. They putting him in the ring with Undertaker at WrestleMania. That's not going to work if they're not going to put him full heel. And also the booking of Roman Reigns, they made him too powerful in many matches, and people just can't get behind that character for some reason. I don't know what it is. I can tell you several reasons why. One of them, they had him cut some promos with the Big Show talking about some beanstalks and being Jack the Giant Killer. Had him talking about some suffering succotash, and people will always remember that about Roman. And he had a little run where he was losing matches, but it was either from interference or something. He hasn't really lost any matches straight up losing, and that's not helping him with any of the fans. And once CM Punk came out and let everybody know to make Roman look strong, that was the end of that. And the WrestleMania 32 main event was not that good at all. Triple H tried to make him look like a big baby face, but more people was cheering for Triple H than Roman. So I don't know if they need to just have him go away for a while and come back, I guess that would help him, but he still just looks like he's hanging on to the Shield gimmick, and people like let it go. Dean didn't let it go. Seth didn't let it go. So maybe if Roman lets all that go, maybe people will like him a little bit more. I don't know how they gonna fix this character, because if they keep on just messing him up, the fans are gonna eventually be like, well, they don't know what to do with him. We don't care no more. He won't get no more. Let's go Roman. Roman sucks. He'll just get crickets. So Roman has had the worst luck out of the Shield, going from being the silent hitman type character in the Shield to trying to be the cool badass face, and it's just not working. His skills are very limited in the ring. He done had good matches with people, but the only reason why he has had good matches with people because those people are veterans. And you could tell with the last match he had at pay-per-view with him and Braun Strowman, somebody that's relatively green in the business right now, but he's been picking up a lot of stuff really early, and it showed during that match against Roman that Roman cannot lead a green person. He's a person that needs to be led in a match. So, and the internet is not helping any with all the backstage stuff that's going on with Vince trying to push him. And some of the interviews he said has really turned people off. And also, many of the wrestling journalists are not rooting for Roman Reigns either. So he's just having bad luck all around. And the women like him, some of them do, but that's not going to help him in the long run unless if he gets that real nasty heel run and change up all his Shield game and be something totally different. So Roman, they gonna have to fix him sooner or later, or else he's gonna be the Lex Luger of the 2000s. Well, that's my thoughts of all three of the Shield members. So hopefully we'll see down the road what's going to take the journey of Dean Ambrose, Roman Reigns, and Seth Rollins on their paths in the WWE for the next few years. It's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen with all three of them and who will last the longest out the set, because it's not really looking good for Seth if he keeps on messing up his knee, and Roman, if he doesn't get this heel run, he's just going to keep on getting rejected by the people, and that's not going to help him any at all. So, and Dean, he's going to have to step up a little bit, but he's the one that has a feud that is really an old school feud, and his makes more sense than anybody else's. So that's it. This is why I'm here. We're signing off. See you next time.